I hope your leadership toolbox is filling up with valuable tools. We've looked at several that can be helpful: humility, faithfulness, compassion, leadership, and today we're going to look at another vital tool: integrity. To give us an analogy of the characteristics of integrity, I'd like to show you another woodworking tool from my grandfather's toolbox: the tape measure. The tape measure is a portable measurement tool that consists of a flexible metal tape wound up and spring-loaded in an easy-to-carry package. A tape measure is an indispensable tool when working on projects that require precise measurement. Accuracy and integrity are the hallmarks of a tape measure, at least when it's in the hands of a craftsman who understands how to use it. The first U.S. patent for a tape measure was July 14, 1868, although it was identified then as a revision or an improvement over an early design. Measuring tapes date back all the way to the Roman Empire, where marked pieces of leather were used. Even though they were patented in 1863, though, they didn't really come into widespread use until the turn of the century. They were just too expensive. Their equivalent cost today would be over $300. They really did not come into popularity until the 1940s, when they were finally replaced the folding carpenter's rule. The value of the tape measure is not just the convenience of use with its retractable tape and its belt clip design. The value rests in the integrity of its measurement. Modern day tape measures have a metal tape that allows no stretching, so that the measurements made are precise and accurate. The carpenter can trust that when he measures a foot, it will be the exact same foot he measured the day before, and the same as the last carpenter used the week before. Tape measures are marked with either imperial units or metric units. Here in the USA, we use the imperial units. You can see evidence that the manufacturers of the tape measure have given considerable thought to its development. Most modern tape measures are marked down to the 16th of an inch. And there are also markings on the tape to facilitate frequent measurements, like the 16-inch distance between studs in a house, or the 19.2 inches that make up 5 trusses in an 8-foot piece of lumber. The integrity of the tape measure even extends to its housing. It's made exactly 3 inches wide, so that inside measurements can be accurately made. The measurement is made on the tape, and then you add the 3 inches to get an exact inside measurement. Now, what analogies can we make to the tape measure that will help us to understand integrity? First, let's look at the precision of the tape measure. Precision speaks of truth, exactness, dependability, and oneness. Integrity speaks of completeness or fullness. If we have integrity in our lives, the actions of our life will match the words of our teaching. Amy Carmichael once said, "Are all the parts of our character and of our ways which no one can see as right as those which all can see? Are we true right through?" Some of the synonyms of integrity are honesty, purity, righteousness, sincerity, and virtue. These all speak of precision and truth. Psalm 26:1 says, "Vindicate me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity." The psalmist was able to allow God to examine him and know that his life and actions were a precise match to his beliefs and convictions. Question: is it possible to serve the Lord and not walk in integrity? In 2 Chronicles 25, Amaziah had become king, and he reigned for 29 years. But verse 2 says, "He did right in the sight of the Lord, yet not with a whole heart." He walked in outward obedience, but not with integrity. The manufacturers of the tape measure planned for every reoccurring measurement they could anticipate. We need to anticipate the reoccurring trials and temptations we might face and make provision for our response that it might be with a whole heart. The tape measure has been around for a long time. Longevity is important for integrity as well. For your life to be identified with a characteristic of integrity, it must have demonstrated a consistency of integrity over a long period of time. Now, I've always been taught to measure twice, cut once. Depending upon the integrity of the tape measure can avoid some costly mistakes, like when you cut into the wrong place on an expensive piece of lumber. Likewise, when you consider carefully how to respond in a given situation with integrity, you can avoid some very costly mistakes. Integrity. It's a tool you can't afford to be without in your leadership toolbox. The key is your heart. Let's serve like David, being able to ask the Lord to search our hearts, knowing that they're pure, rather than like Amaziah, obedient, but not with a whole heart. May God bless each of you with the character quality of integrity for His glory.